It's the Cable
I think we're just grabbing Toxic Deluge, the most metally. Let's do Covenant, actually. OZZY as a practicing Satanist, huh? Maybe a pact or two in there. Underworld Breach. OZZY coming back on. One last show here. It's pretty fitting. Thoughtseize was all of his drug use. Yeah, maybe. Preacher spits out 1/1 vampires, which is very close to spitting out bats. I'm going to count it. We should put on OZZY. Someone donate for it then. Yeah, song requests have always worked the same. They do not suddenly change. And the reason that I charge for song requests, so I don't have a chat of people begging me to play X and Y song constantly. You know, like what's happening right now. Just so we're on the same page. Did OZZY own a helicopter? I don't think he was known for owning a helicopter. I don't think that's what OZZY was known for. Certainly a master of the baleful art of metal, though. Not very Darkness of me? No. Yeah, Damn's got the right vibe. OZZY wouldn't want Caleb to sacrifice his principles. Well, it's not really a matter of principles. Not the word I would use. Matter of keeping me sane, keeping my chat manageable. You know, running my stream how I want to run it. Human Warlock is nice, isn't it? Definitely an OZZY vibe there. There's literally bats in the picture. How could you not? The Dark Lord finally calling one of his own home. Well, this one has unholy in the name. Perfect. Valuing other people's art? Yeah, I mean, that's a different conversation, but a large chunk of my income goes to supporting artists, including a lot of the musicians that I listen to here on stream. And most musicians that I listen to, that I've had the chance to talk with it, have been, like, ecstatic to be played on Twitch streams. Some of which are regulars here. It's not like some secret where it's like, man, I wonder what this person thinks about this. What does X and Y think? You can literally ask them. Everybody's accessible these days. OZZY Crypt. OZZY Crypt works. Yeah, Skull Clamp's not really OZZY's vibe. It's a little futuristic, right? He was singing songs about wizards and shit. Let's grab the Hex Mage. The Skull Clamp is Iron Man. That's an argument. There's an argument there. Oh my god. It's the perfect fucking OZZY card. Because it's a drug reference, see? I suppose we'll grab another magic user here. Godless Shrine. Well, that's pretty fitting. So some people interpret the wizard as referencing Gandalf, but it's not a direct reference. Lord of the Rings is very like in metal though. It's like very much a thread of metal, right? A motif within metal, very commonly mined for song lyrics. And he invented metal, so I think it's good enough. Yeah, fortunately, Mortuary and Dark Ritual both fit for this one. We're gonna take the Dark Ritual. Amped Raptor, because it has amp in the name, like the, yeah, nice. His last show that he did was in the his OG hometown, which is kind of fitting. I think Liliana definitely listens to Sabbath. You could wear that garb to a Sabbath show for sure. Not a very Aussie pack, is it? A giant of metal. Thank you. Demonic Tutor. That's like fucking Aussie in by itself, huh? Is this like Mr. Crawley, the fucking magic card? Is that what we're doing here? Although Crawley, mostly just rumored to be a Satanist, not necessarily practically one. He had like one line about like being the carrying the mark of the beast or something like that, but the context was he was like rebelling against an overly religious older figure. Some people took that a little too literally. Certainly an influence on Ozzy though, huh? Wrote a whole goddamn song about him. The Soul Guide Lantern. Helping the Dark Lord across the river. Perfect. 87 thinks 81 months. 81 is a cool number. Hope things are cool and people are doing well. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Yeah, I hope you're doing well too. Of course. The River 6. Not the most Ozziest of packs. Maybe Fabled Passage. Yeah. Yeah, that's fitting, actually. Although Scarlet is a headliner. And Ozzy's certainly spent a lot of time headlining. So Mother... Obviously, Ozzy wasn't a mom, but the father of metal, has been given that moniker. So I could see Eternal Witness, because Ozzy's legend will live on eternally. I think I like Saga. Like Ozzy was a storyteller, through song, of course. And TV, I suppose. The Tomb. The Tomb to rest the Dark Lord. Too real, bruh. Too real. Have I tried Dual Commander? Yeah, I've played a little bit. Very small amount. It's okay. Too bad Field of the Dead doesn't work, Yeah, not really enough playables here. I guess we're playing Memory Jar and We have a Taiga that the Nature's Lore can grab. I guess I'll splash Fire Covenant, huh? I think I dig that. I'm gonna play a single mountain for the Fabled Passage. Terrible opener. Lotus action, huh? That doesn't seem bad. Yeah, when I first started streaming, and I was streaming to like 40 people, it was totally reasonable to just like take song requests from chat and stuff. And at a certain point, it became a bit much. It kind of like spams the chat if I'm getting more song requests than I can actually play. So the options were to just like never take them. And then I would get exposed to like less music, which is, you know, kind of a fucking bummer. Or find a way to slow it down somehow. And setting it as a reward for people that are tipping anyway was the solution that I came up with. And this is what's worked for me in my stream. If you just play what other people want to listen to constantly, then you end up with Canister's playlist, which can be funny and fun in small doses, but I would probably have taken a drill to my head at this point. Like the scene in Pi, yeah, exactly. Did I see the Flecktones are doing a Christmas tour with the OG4 plus Jeff Coffin? No, I did not see that. That's fun. Pi is a wild movie. I really liked it when I was in college, and I did not like it. I did not care for it on repeat. On reviewing. A lot of the stuff that I thought was like deep was kind of like shallow on rewatch. But I've also just like kind of fallen off Aronofsky. You're sensing a storm deck? That seems likely, huh? Some kind of combo. If they can Imperial Seal with a Citadel in play and not figure out a way to win from here, that would be impressive. If they don't find a way to win in the top 11. You know, plenty of storm potentials here. You enjoyed The Fountain? That's one that I haven't watched, so I can't really comment on that one. You wonder if The Wrestler is a good rewatch? So The Wrestler, I is like, I saw when I was like already disaffected with Aronofsky, and I still enjoyed that movie. I thought it was still good. Had nice artistic merit and stuff. Basically, I expected it would be. I expected it would hold up really well. Yeah, that's about where I was at, Barnacle Hands. It like actually made me see the rest of his work differently. That plus hearing Satoshi Kon talk about how he felt about like just having some of his scenes lifted wholesale. When Aronofsky wanted to do a live action remake of one of Satoshi Kon's films, I think it was Perfect Blue, and he couldn't get the rights to do it, and so instead he made Requiem for a Dream, and then he just like used the shots that he wanted to shoot. And Satoshi Kon got to talk to him about it, and Aronofsky called it like an homage, and Satoshi was like, "Well, that's just my scene. That's what do you mean homage?" You know, and he wasn't like aggressive about it or anything. That's not wasn't his approach, but I think you can like kind of tell that he was hurt by it. As a struggling animator, not making very much. Well, the opponent's gone through a lot of cards here. How'd the OZZY drafting go? That's what we're jamming right now. A lot of references to dark magic and the like. Can Memory Jar deck the opponent? It can if they get 5 cards deeper, huh? That's an interesting perspective, Thought for Gifts. I like how Nolan champions the IMAX specifically. I wonder if I should have just cracked Jar on my turn. Gone digging for a win of my own. You hate how Nolan champions IMAX? Cool. Cracking 7 is a chance to draw them to deny their outs. Yeah, sort of. It can also like draw them closer to it, right? If those outs are something like Breach or whatever, maybe filling up the yard for them. You go out of your way to see Nolan movies. Your local enormous IMAX screen. Nice. Yeah, I wait until they come out on video personally, but I do like that it gets more people in front of IMAX screens. I want the theater experience to be better. My issue with his sound mixing is that it's like he tends to like mix the dialogue low, so I can never hear anything that's going on. But then when his movie inevitably comes out on streaming, I can put on subtitles. If his movies in the theater had subtitles, I would like it so much better. So the plan here is to Baleful Master around Witherbloom and get them 1 card deeper. So they're going to draw a card for turn, and that's got to be it. Because the card that I make them draw now, they're going to have to discard. I think they maybe should have spun top there. Because then they get to choose which of their 2 last cards is the one they draw. Oh, we just made them discard Echo of Eons, so they're totally fine. Fair enough. Yeah, it's the danger of cracking the Memory Jar when it's not lethal, huh? I think they're like pretty close to finding it anyway. Well, we have a win. It's very slow. We Demonic Tutor for a piece of our combo and then Witness it back. There's better ways to answer the Thassa's Oracle than Baleful Mastery. I don't know. On Cube, that's the card I'm always afraid of with Thassa's Oracle. You know, because it kills you. And a typical removal spell doesn't work at all. I don't understand your question, Mark. Oh, you're talking about, you're not talking about in general, you're talking about in my deck right now. We don't have the Apprentice. Sure. We do have the 3/2. We can make infinite 1/1 still. Looks good to me. So all this removal kind of looks like dog shit, which is unfortunate because we've got a lot of it. Yuffie looks amazing, on the other hand. Oh, my apologies to your dog's parasite, Noblest Men. Thanks for sharing. Do we have a Hex Mage combo? No. But vampires have an affinity for bats, just like Ozzy Osbourne did. And you could argue that he was shamanistic, another magic user. The Mana Crypt pings, they're not going to need nearly as large of a tendrils this time, huh? Losing flips left and right here. If they crack it in response, which they should still do, they will have to like discard the card. So if I was them and I didn't like have cards, other things that I wanted to do, I would spin the top and then I would crack the Mind Stone and use it as a surveil here, I guess. Sure. That's legit. I think we're just running the Witch out. The Extruder is an answer to my own Mana Crypt. It feels like this is just a slightly faster clock. Well, that's a card, huh? Let's do this first. So we're going to be dumping our hand here. Oh, God. Oh, they packed. Cool. Game 3. Memory jar, Surveil 7 there. Top was banned for a reason. Yeah, time considerations were a big reason behind that. Top's got a lot going on. Even if people could play it quickly. A lot of text for 1 mana card. I think if it had not been banned a while ago for Miracles, I think Doomsday would have gotten it banned. Talking about Legacy. Oh shit. He just trying to grind. Thanks to the sod. Thanks to the 9 months. The number of draws and counterbalance top Legacy metas was crazy. Was it? I remember lands being more responsible for draws. Back before they added 2020s. That deck sped the fuck up once they added 2020s. For a while, lands was killing you with like punching fires and shit, or like a single creature land. Hey, Campfire Studios, thanks to the sub, thanks to 3 months. Yeah. So we have a combo, but the combo just makes infinite 1/1s. And so even if they like fizzled here and passed, and I got to combo, they would likely untap and kill me anyway. Will they find the tendrils? The opponent's not going to time out. We're in game 3, and they literally just need to find tendrils. And they've got a lot of looks left. Yeah, it's right there. Starting Town's a pretty reasonable addition to the cube. Don't hate it. Yeah, you got it. You could Dark Rituals, you could Night's Whisper this turn too, but I don't think we're in a big rush. I attempt to block. Fair enough. I don't think we're getting Mana Crypt here. I think I got like one other thing we can grab. That's almost interesting. The Witherbloom life gain might end up being relevant this game. Oh shit, hey Warren, thanks for the $10 donation. Almost like cracking in Nature's Luring. Let's do that. Well, I'm gonna Night's Whisper. Gives me a chance to find Chain of Smog here. I need to level that up. So if we let that thing hit me, it's worth what, 6, 7, 8, 9? Put me to 2? Not a lot of lives. No blocks. What do you got? Just fine with 6, which finds Lightning Bolt anyway, sure. So get the Memory Jar. We're gonna crack Lantern at EOT. GG. Palantir's kind of bad here because they're ending the game so quickly. Let's play Bone Crusher over it. The rest of this, I think, is fine. The life loss for Fire Covenant is awkward, but typically you end up saving more life than you spend, huh? All right. Let's play Warren's song request here. Was I considering cracking the Lantern to block DRC? No. I was trying to, like, dig as quickly as I could. This gives them a card, but I'm just going to jam it. Regret. Sure. So the Witch is down. The Overlord could rebuy it, though. Ooh, that's not bad. Notably, when Ty was here, when I had the singer of a power metal band guesting on stream, we drafted like the most metal deck possible, and I think we ended up Jund for that deck as well. Base black Jund. That deck also had Fire Confluence in it. I'm gonna go ahead and crack this. Nice. Now we can hardcast that Overlord. Potentially get in front of the Lelia next turn. Or, yeah. If we were up to Black Source, we could actually 2 mana impending the Overlord, get back Liliana Edict. But that didn't happen. How metal can it be without Metalworker? Metalworker, not in the cube. I found a stack of metalworkers earlier though, the gold border ones. I found so I'd scooped the John Finkel God, what's the name of that 4-mana enchantment he played? He played like a mono blue artifact deck that tapped down his opponent's lands. And then there was like a 4-mana Winter Orb in the deck. And he was playing like Brainstorm, Grim Monoliths. Anyway, I scooped that deck, the Pro Tour like gold border version of it, to like harvest it for like proxies for my cube. And I just found it as I was reorganizing cards the other day, and I found out that it's just like full of gas for pre-modern, like Quadration imports and stuff, and that's pretty fun. So I got a little excited last night. Is gold border pre-modern legal? Largely. So each shop has its own rules for that, but the creators of the format are pro like keeping the format like accessible without necessarily endorsing like different levels of proxies in different areas and stuff. And they thought that gold border was still like iconic and fun and such, so like the Gaia's Cradles that I use are gold border Gaia's Cradles, and they're a little bit more affordable. If a store didn't let you play gold bordered cards in pre-modern, you'd never go back. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. But you know, shops feel differently. They're allowed to be wrong. Oh, I hope you have a great time at Gen Con, Prof. I'm jelly. Yeah, I couldn't afford it this year, and the time that worked out for our wedding is also like the day after Gen Con, so that was just not going to work out this year. But I usually try to split it up. I usually try to go every other year. Anyway. Reduces burnout, and it's easier on my pocketbook. Hey, J Grash thinks the sub, the tier 3, the 125 months. Are we doing the sneaky Hexmage block? If we could have. The opponent was aware, though, huh? Firing off that Abrade. They were aware we could block, stack First Strike, and then sack the Hexmage to trade with the Lelia there. Yeah, appreciate you, J Grash. Ooh, so I was certainly going to chump here. Now we are well within this Mana Crypt's range. I don't think there's anything super exciting I can grab. Yeah, Lethal Scheme on the Lelia after it's declared as an attacker would just like buy you another turn where you might die to the Mana Crypt anyway. I'm pretty fine packing this. Well, we may be 0-2. We may be 0-2 in this draft. In our OZZY Stipulation draft. But the one thing that we can all take to heart